Let's unearth or confront the stages of grief as we recover from the mother wound. I have been walking this journey myself, and I hope that we can borrow from each other's experiences as we work on healing those bloodlines that are coming after us and that are attached to us. And they will say that I'm so grateful someone took the time to gatekeep where healing was required for the future of this bloodline. And so we're going to look at this through the angle or the guide of stages of grief. And there are 5 stages of grief, and each stage could have its own issues, but usually they might also not manifest in that order or also in that defined way only. But let's just get into it, and I hope that this will continue to serve that educational learning and information process for you. So the first stage is shock. And when the individual, the survivor, is going through the shock of that critical incident that has happened to them, is immediately you want to erase, especially the most horrific parts of that trauma. And so you sort of like want to have that story within you the way that you prefer to know it. And also because of the shock, somehow some parts might get lost. Some parts of the story could get lost or misplaced. Maybe the order of events, the series that it happened, might not be flowing. Then comes in denial. And at this stage, the person cannot believe that they have been through that experience. And I remember those few years ago when I went through the harrowing experience of separation during COVID. It was traumatic because first there's no access to people, and then you're there, and I was with the children and I had to walk with them through that part of that process. And being able to make peace with that took a lot of mental strength for me. And I remember every session with my counselor was super draining because I'd come home and my children knew I would just need to sleep it off because I was in denial. I could not believe that this was going to be my new norm. And then comes in the bargaining stage where you suffer inappropriate guilt. You begin to wonder, was I that bad? Was it that horrible? Was I that unworthy? And if you look at this now in the other angle of the mother wound experience, is the shock of, this is my mother who should love me and care for me, but she is not here. And so as you grow up, because you need to also have a story for the world regarding you and your mother, you sort of erase some of the really terrible experiences, but they are hidden somewhere within you. And then comes in the denial stage where you say, no, it wasn't that bad. I remember seeing her a few times. And the few times you saw her, she was there probably on other business, which made you secretly angry that she did not even have time to sit you down and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I think I'm letting you down, but blah, 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 blah. And then now comes in the memory beginning to settle. Just at the end of this denial stage where you're actually saying, if I'm ready to confront this, I will do it so accurately so that I become that ideal person for myself and for my future. And so at this bargaining stage where you begin to feel inappropriate guilt, or maybe she had so much work, maybe I was a troublesome child, maybe it's because I was a girl, or maybe it's because I was a boy, maybe it's because she had me when she was a teenager, and you begin to stand in that gap to account for their wounding of you. And during these negotiations, you will realize that there is a sort of discontentment and unrest within you that causes you to feel like you want to demand for something. You want to demand for an exchange. You want to demand for some answers. And the biggest question is, how do I present this issue without raising other side issues from it? And so the next stage becomes the depression stage, where the person experiences deep sadness as the reality dawns. If you're like me, I don't do very well with sadness. So I deal with it, I let it take over for a while, and then I just address it and I assign meaning to it. And as you realize on this motherhood journey, as long as your trauma has not received an assignment of meaning, it will keep hovering around, it will keep lingering at the back of your mind and during your life experiences. And so as the reality dawns on us, as we continue on this journey, I pray that we will all come to the place of acceptance, where we begin to reduce the intensity of the mother wound, especially, where we are able to talk about it without raising our voice and bursting out in tears, because we now understand that we are healing, we are recovering, we are being intentional. And I pray that as we continue to work towards reconstruction and rebuilding, restoring and redefining our lives, we will be able to become those people that we will always have been meant to be. I pray that this has lifted you up, and I'd like to see in the comments what stood out for you. Do you understand which stage you are at this mother wound trauma recovery, or in another area of your life that you feel, I am stuck here? How do I get unstuck? That's where I come in. And it's very, very important sometimes to have someone walk you through an area of darkness that you know you don't even want to go, because you need someone to take the first step for you and just tell you it's not that bad, let's walk on together. And that's what I do, and that's how I work. I value you and your journey, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.